Again, welcome and thank you for joining today's webinar. I am Anna Milan, Senior Product Marketing Manager for Safetica, and joining me today is one of Safetica's product managers, Tomasz Nesprekal. As you know, this webinar is all about insider risks and how to mitigate risks caused by insiders within our organization. And oftentimes, insider risks are overlooked, but the consequences of managing them can be incredibly costly and can really cause damage to your organizations. But the good news is that we're here today, Thomas and I, to show you how to get ahead of these risks and protect your organization from within. I want to kick the webinar by giving you a quick look of what we'll be covering today. So we'll start by defining what exactly insider risk is. Then we'll dive into why insider risk management is so essential as we look into signs that your organization may be at risk. And then finally, we'll wrap up by exploring how Safetica's intelligent approach can help you proactively manage these risks and protect your business. So, I want to start off or officially start with a powerful quote from Gartner. And this really sets the tone for what we're discussing today. Not every risk turns into a threat, but every threat begins as a risk. And it's really crucial to identify and mitigate risks early, even before they escalate into serious issues. So, what's the difference between an insider risk and an insider threat? Oftentimes, we hear these terms used interchangeably within articles and websites. But for us here in Safetica, insider risk is essentially the potential of an insider, whether it's an employee, a contractor, or a trusted partner, to unintentionally, meaning by accident or by mistake, or maliciously harm the organization. So this could be through data leaks, policy violations, or even simple mistakes or simple tasks. On the other hand, an insider threat occurs when that risk materializes. So when someone is taking action or when someone takes actions that compromise your data security. And that's where the real damage happens. So by managing risks effectively and proactively, we can stop threats before they occur. Now, insider risks can take many forms, and according to this insider threat framework, these risks fall into several categories. So you will see on the left side of the table are malicious insiders. So these insiders or these are individuals with bad intentions who may steal or misuse sensitive information. So examples would include IP theft, unauthorized disclosure, sabotage, and fraud. And then we have on the right side, we have the non malicious insiders. And based on studies, non malicious insiders continue to pose the greatest risk to organizations. We have unintentional insiders, whether negligent or mistaken. And these are the well meaning employees who accidentally put your organization at risk through mistakes or carelessness. And then you have compromised insiders or the outsmarted insiders. And these individuals may have their accounts hijacked or their credentials stolen, allowing external actors to do the damage. So, understanding these different types of insider risks helps us tailor our strategies for prevention and management. But I want to take it one step forward and make this a little more real for you guys with some stories that you might recognize. And I will give you three examples or three personas. First, meet Mark. Mark is a senior IT administrator. He has been with the company for 5 years. And while he's technically skilled, he's become disgruntled or frustrated after being passed over for promotion. So, as someone with privileged access to sensitive systems and customer information, Mark starts exfiltrating confidential data. Yes, just because he feels frustrated and he feels disgruntled and discouraged. And so he wants to sell this on the dark web. Malicious insiders like Mark are particularly dangerous because of their access and their knowledge. And the scary part is, without real time behavior monitoring, Mark might just fly under the radar until it's too late, causing intellectual property loss. However, with the right tools in place, organizations or your organization can actually detect unusual behavior before it's too late. Another example is, let's talk about Sarah. Sarah is a sales executive and a well intentioned employee. However, she accidentally sends a confidential report to the wrong email address outside the company. She was in a very busy environment, a noisy environment, and she just accidentally or by mistake sends this report to someone else. Sarah's mistake could have serious consequences if that confidential data falls into the wrong hands. And this is a classic case of an unintentional insider, a mistaken insider. It's not malicious, but the impact is still very real. And this kind of error can lead to major compliance violations and even legal headaches. Of course, Sarah, she feels awful, but the incident could have been completely avoided with the right safeguards. Finally, we have Luis, who becomes a compromised insider. Luis, again, is a trusted employee, but his credentials were stolen by an external hacker. The attacker uses Luis' credentials to access sensitive data, again, all under the guise of a legitimate user. And here's the key: even though Luis didn't intend any harm, his compromised account became a serious insider threat. And this type of risk, outsmarted insiders, this type of risk is becoming more and more common as phishing and social engineering attacks increase. And this is really where insider risk management and DLP can make a difference. So, by tracking unusual data movements, even when they appear to come from a trusted account like Luis's account, the system could have flagged and blocked the exfiltration attempts, saving the company from a major breach, saving the company from big financial losses. And so, again, these are circumstances or incidents that may or have happened to your organization. And so let's take a moment to talk about 5 warning signs that your organization could be at risk for an insider incident. And I want to start with unmonitored access to sensitive data or systems. So, again, imagine if someone in your company could just browse through all your sensitive data without anyone noticing. Scary, right? So, if you don't have proper monitoring in place that could be happening, you need to keep track of who's accessing what, when they're accessing it, and why. And without this, you're basically flying blind, and it's easy for things to go wrong, whether it's by accident or someone with bad intentions. Second, lack of clear data protection policies. Again, ask yourselves, are your employees clear on what data they're allowed to handle and how to protect it? If your team doesn't have straightforward policies in place, they might not even realize they're putting the company at risk. And policies aren't enough on their own. You've got to make sure everyone is trained on them regularly and that you're actively enforcing them and putting the right solutions in place. Third, we have unusual behavior or anomalies in user activity. Again, have you ever noticed something strange like an employee logging in at weird hours or downloading more data than usual, this could be a sign that something's off. Maybe someone's about to leak data or their account has been compromised, just like Luis's account. It's super important to watch for these unusual behaviors and take action right away. Often catching these small signs early can help prevent something big from happening. And again, later on, Tomasz will show you how we could address these in within our Safetica product. Fourth, lack of monitoring on applications and website activity. Something that often slips under the radar is what your employees are doing on apps and on websites. And if you don't have a clear view of which tools they're using or what websites they're visiting, especially when it involves sensitive data, that's another big risk. You should know which applications are being accessed, how often, and what kind of data is being shared. Monitoring app and website activity gives you that critical and crucial insight to catch any issues early. And last but definitely not the least is over reliance on perimeter security while neglecting internal threats. A lot of companies focus heavily on keeping the bad guys out with things like firewalls and antivirus software. And while that's important, it won't help much if the threat is already inside the company. Insiders, like, as I've mentioned, employees and contractors already have access. And that's why you need to keep an eye on what's happening internally. Just focusing on the perimeter leaves a huge blind spot for insider risk. And so, by keeping an eye for these signs, you can catch potential problems early and take steps to stop them before they turn into something much bigger. We always say prevention is always cheaper, is always easier, and that is why it pays to be proactive. And why? The answer is simple. Costs due to data loss caused by insiders can be huge, can be astronomical. A recent study found that the average cost of insider related data breach is over $16 million. And this is a growing number as we speak. And that's not just in fines or lost in revenues, it also includes damage to your reputation and customer trust. And so by being proactive, we do not only protect, or you do not only protect your data, but you also safeguard your brand and the company's future growth. And this leads us to the core of our discussion. So think of these risks or these five signs that your organization can be at risk. And if you ticked one of those five boxes, Thomas now will show you how Safetica can help you manage insider risk intelligently and proactively. And at Safetica, we do understand that insider risks can be complex. And that's why our solution is designed to give you comprehensive visibility and control. We'll also take a look at how Safetica's approach can help you detect risks early, streamline your processes, and ultimately protect your sensitive data from both accidental and malicious insiders. So over to you, Tomasz.
Hello, everybody, and thank you, Anna. Thank you for joining us today, and for those who are watching later. I would like to show you everything that, or some highlights that Anna has described in our product. So let's get into it. So here, to first detect the intellectual property or the sensitive data, we have to set up the data classification. For the use case of the insider risk management, we have built-in templates in our product that are available. To mention a few that are usually the case for the data risk management, the insider risk management, it's the high volume of sensitive data. We have also the source code being the other one, and we also recommend to use the traffic light protocol set to restricted. In case you don't find a use for these predefined templates, you can add the classification of your own, and you can set it up via different rules like keywords, regexes, or predefined algorithms. So once you have defined the data, the sensitive data that you don't want to get leaked out, you need to set up in the protection part of our product the policies that keep your data protected. So here we are looking at the example of protect data transferred by leaving employees. So in general, leaving employees are the group that's potential risk for leaking the data. We have multiple options since Anna mentioned two cases, the intentional and non-intentional. So for the intentional ones, you can decide and you can block the user action that tries to transfer the data. But also we have policies that notify the users with the pop-ups and inform them that they are intending to use the data transfer, which is not supported by the internal policy. Here we have the examples of the data classifications we have mentioned on the previous slide. So these are related to this policy. For the destination types, we aim on the usual ones for the insider risk management, like the cloud drive upload, the email, or the instant messaging. You may wonder how to define the group of the leaving employees. We work with Active Directory or Azure Active Directory, and in this view of your users, it's in the section of management of the product. You can quickly and simply create a team and name it like employees leaving, and then you just simply drag and drop the users from the list and you assign them to that group. So now you know that this potential group of employees is being protected by the Safetica product. We have engine. We have implemented a complex calculation mechanism that does the smart risk analysis for you. So you don't have to deep dive into a large amount of data. But for example, in this case, we are looking at a data transfer. It's from the file name, it's employee health records XLS file. And here we look at different things that we consider for the risk calculation. They either negatively or positively impact the risk score. So in this scenario, there is a user that has transferred this file outside of the regular user hour. So we monitor each user's regular activity period, and we look at the suspicious hours like late night or early in the morning, and we identify those as risky. Another thing might be a risky application. In this case, it's a Mozilla Firefox Portable Edition. So we categorize those as alternative web browsers, and we increase risk in this case. There is also a data classification detected since it's also like name healthcare health records. It has been identified as a classification for healthcare, and it all increase the score of the risk into high. In our product, you can simply filter these events, and you can sort these events from the high to low risk levels. So then you can focus your attention on these significant risks. We also use much simpler and effective methods like using this widget. So now we are looking at the risky websites. So we had, in this case, one blocked website that is shown here with the red indication. So in this case, user Eva Bailey, these are demo data mocked up. So this user Eva Bailey, she has try to access multiple times one website called www.illegal.com, and we see that her action was blocked. Let's have a quick look on one example. This is example of source code being uploaded into ChatGPT. So this user tries to paste the copied code, and once they try to do it, there is a detail of a pop-up that shows that the access was blocked and prevents from this from occurring. And as I mentioned earlier, this also is shown to the with the notify policies. So that's everything from my short presentation. Thank you for attention, and let me pass the word back to Anna for the Q&A section.
All right, thank you, Tomasz. So the floor is now open for questions. Let me just quickly look into. All right, so it seems that everything was clear throughout the presentation. We do not have any questions at the moment. And so this concludes our webinar. Again, if you have any questions, once we send out the follow-up email, our doors are always open. You can reach out to marketing@safetica.com for further clarifications. And if you want to show Safetica in action, you can book a demo via www.safetica.com/demo. Again, we are very happy and willing to help you and give you more insight into our data security solution. So again, thank you for attending our webinar, and we hope to see you in our next event. Thank you very much and have a great day.